the proficiency with which they played yesterday and the fact that we got such an incredible first map performance out of Body and Lucky, especially Body. I think if they can get that again on Vertigo, Body only really needs to show up on Vertigo. And then he has a blinder, he really smashes it out of the park. And I think if they bring the same sort of level baseline that they brought to Overpass yesterday, this could be a clean 2-0 for them. But OneWin certainly have the firepower to match, and starting over on the CT side of Vertigo gives them an opportunity to really start putting the pain to HEET early and not allow them to build up some of that momentum we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think OneWin would like to get that going as they did also. We didn't catch their game versus Finest, but looking at the stats, it looked quite impressive. Either way, early moments is going to be all ready to tease advancing up this A ramp. It's not the full commitment, though, as we can see. There's a bit of presence around middle instead. Only 2 players for now taking this A control. Will they be able to deal with the lurk in on mid and potentially even move it into B now, as they had at least been able to keep those players busy on the A bomb site? And this should give them the bomb plant now.
Should give Afro a fantastic position as well. Aggressive, tight on the right-hand side, but he's losing teammates. Glowing's dealt with Lucky, and that leaves him isolated. He only finds the 1-for-1, and Jocko is left. 1v2, clean headshot for the first, and he knows where Travis is. Still has to get that bomb down. Will do so behind the safety of the double stack. As Travis looks to aggress up onto the angle, the shot's being missed by both players, but it's Travis who comes out on top on the spam down. The USP finds it. And a very intriguing strat for HEET, you have to say, falls apart at the last hurdle.
Yeah, it was different for sure. Incredibly fast with those 2 players up ramp. It actually sold the full rotation, but I think one player had unfortunately already pushed down B, so that was just, in the end, the linchpin here, with Travis being able to catch them, of course, from the second side and keep them busy as they tried to get the bomb planted. That's the start that OneWin needed. We seen yesterday the effect that having a strong start for HEET can have. So being able to stop them from being able to get the early rounds here will be ideal, but they still need to overcome what is a very solid force buy. Obviously the bomb went down, they have Galil's, an AK even thrown in there, a scout for Afro. It's pretty much on par in terms of firepower with what OneWin actually have. So we'll see how many risks are willing to be taken, I suppose, for OneWin. What a shot. Fostar barely showed himself. Afro managed to land and at least do some damage. It can help in the long run. They still have tons of time, and it'll, of course, intimidate perhaps OneWin a small bit from being too aggressive here, knowing that there is at least a scout and some other weapons in play.
Oh, lucky choose on a dink. As the response is found. He was the lurk over towards B this time, just hoping to keep Travis honest, but with that dink, he really has to fall back, and you can see it's allowing OneWin to settle into this 3-man stack over on A. Minute left on the clock. Really no map control at all for HEET. Exercise just thinking about probing out mid, but ramp not yet taken, mid not yet taken, B warded off. This is not a great look for now for HEET. They are starting to work their way up that A ramp, bleeding out a little bit more of that CT utility in the process, but there's going to be a re-aggression. HE goes in close, spam connecting, damage is good, and the trades come out in favor of OneWin. An early 2-for-1. Body trying to use the headshot angle to his advantage, but it just puts him on a plate for Glowing. And at this point, with Lucky still dinked down, Deco takes out the high HP teammate, and Lucky, well, he's fortunate to even get the 1. The response is immediate. OneWin with a strong retake of that A ramp, and again, just doing the simple things right. There's nothing particularly tricksy, nothing particularly clever, just hitting your shots, trusting your timings, and getting it done.
Yeah, being able to keep it clean, importantly, for OneWin, how much they were up against, is going to give them a fantastic opportunity to start building a bit here. Obviously, rebind into their nades, it does cost them quite a bit, but if they can make this one clean, then they'll have that economy at least in the reserve for one buy, which is security that you want to have going into that first gun round. Glowing with the MP9, he'll probably try and build up some money during this one, knowing that they're not up against much. And the question is now, how aggressive is he willing to go? There's a couple players waiting on the other side of the smoke, but for now, HEET are just spread out. They're expecting perhaps some aggression to come in. They're expecting this round to be one where OneWin take up the pace and start trying to condition HEET as to what to expect, I suppose, coming into these gun rounds. As Glowing gets himself a little bit of a gap over the smoke, and he's going to be feeling happy about that. 1 kill, they can just calm it down now. I think that was even the bomb spotted at one point. It's all about just trying to get some picks on these deagles, and OneWin just don't really have to give the chances. They are for now, but so far none of them haven't been taken. And Glowing's just got the bomb. Okay, why not? I suppose with the MP9 he can take the risks, but overall I wouldn't want to really send these rifles down up close and personal.
Glowing happy to find the frags. Lucky's found at least 1 in response, and that is one of those rifles dropped. perhaps makes things a little more interesting, especially with Glowing down on 13 HP. Travis and Glowing, though, able to mop things up without too much more trouble. So just the one frag found. I don't think one winner going to be too fussed about that whatsoever, especially considering the money making we saw over on that MP9. Glowing sitting pretty on 6,100 after he finishes his buy off. And Deco will be able to upgrade onto the AWP as well. So the first real opportunity for both sides to stretch their legs. Not quite able to grab that AWP if they wanted it on the Heat side of things. It's going to be the 5 AK-47s instead. Deco, well, he's going to take his AWP roaming and look for some control in towards mid.
Not going to be up against one in the hands of Afro, of course. Still on the rifle for now, so we will have that freedom, but it's actually going to be a very quick B hit coming in. Smoke's down, but there's still two players playing ahead of them. It's only going to be one kill from Travis initially, and I like the position. Deco had fallen back slightly, and I was going to say it found the spot where he could try and just keep them the advantage to set up for a retake. Unfortunately, he was successful on the trade, so it's a 3 versus 3. The bomb should be going down here without too much issue, and this lurk of exercise could already seal the deal before there's any chance of them to actually start moving in towards this bomb site. He's waiting though. He's been very patient. The question is it going to be patient enough or perhaps a little bit too much?
He's got the time in. He's spotted one going over the top. There's a lot of chip damage onto these players as well. Multiple bodies. He lines them up. He sprays all three down. Beautifully played by Exercise. As you said, he ran it fine, but he got the timing just about perfect there. 3 kills on the exit. Cleans up the CT side. Make sure this fast B hit's a success. And I think you're right. Deco, after that one and done, really should have been falling back. Playing that retake with a man advantage. Repeats just a little too quickly. Gives Body the opportunity and he takes it with open arms. So he will start their account. Buy's still going to be available for one win, although it is a little rough around the edges. Glowing dropping down onto the Deagle to make sure the rest of the team can get the rifles thereafter. Foster having to pick up the FAMAS as well, the one truly cursed CT rifle. So not the perfect buy, but it's not bad either. Foster now spotted out. Beautiful pop flash in for Body, but Deco is immediately there through the wall to trade. Trying to keep things at least vaguely competitive. The Deagle, though, trying to swing wide. Didn't feel like the play. Somehow baits Deco in for another. And top of the sandbags, he'll finally be dealt with. Beautiful pop flash. Gets lucky into the angle. Gets that man advantage back for Heat. And at this point, it's all on the timings. Exercise has gone for another lurk out mid. This time been read well by Travis. And then an even 2-on-2. This starts to get ugly. Afro exchanging damage with Flamey. The HE's sailing either way. Neither quite able to connect. And lucky to take advantage onto Travis, leaving Flamey 15 HP in the 1v2. He can see the backpack, but he wants to confirm it. Spraying down, he will, and that's the bomb. The full HP player goes down. Both of these guys desperately low on health from their earlier tangling. 15 HP rotates CT. Afro not reading it just yet. Molly's off the elevators. And as he looks to stick this plant, he's going to trust the boxes to cover him. We'll be able to at least get that bomb down, but he swings right into the grasp of Flamey. He'll be able to save that AWP as well. That is a huge round out of him.
Yeah, with the low health as well. I mean, even if he just rotates 1 second later off that CT spawn, he goes down to the nade and this round would have been over already. So that worked out perfectly for Flamey, even recovering the op for his teammate. And Heat are going to be kicking themselves. They had such a fantastic opportunity. The lurker of Exercise on mid was read perfectly, as it was something he'd done in the previous round already. And of course, just well played by Flamey then in the end to play things fairly cautiously in that one-on-one. Now he had to eventually stick the bomb plant with how little time was left. So we've got the 4-1 scoreline now. Heat are able to just about scrape the buy together again because they do still have a good bit of loss bonus going on top of that bomb plant, but still, rounds are what they need right now, so they need to start making it happen right here, and they still have the opportunity to absolutely destroy the economy of one win just by taking a single round of their own.
Still very much early doors, but for a team with a near 60% T-side win rate over on Vertigo, it's going to feel like they need a little bit more right now. And I feel like they've had a couple of opportunities as well. A couple of clutches gone against them, a couple 1v1s. As you said, an opportunity to break the economy, and they'll feel like they're right in it here. Travis playing tight to the wood. Will be forced back by the utility, but the teammate is there to support. And one win playing in this 2-1-2 gives them that little extra bit of help over towards that B site. Molotov goes in, Travis can back away. It allows that more aggressive position from the primary hold. Does leave the A site a little undefended though, and with the run boost across, Afro unsighted deals with Foster and leaves Glowing completely alone. He'll be mollied surely out of these sandbags. The HE stack instead, but he can only find the one. Traded immediately by Joko, and that's the man advantage once again for Heat. Flamey fast on the rotation. Support lines are being ran, but again, the utility, the wall of smokes, the Molotov into the self-boost. Just making absolutely sure OneWin can do nothing about this. Deco trying to boost over the top of the smoke, but he's been given absolutely nothing yet. Lucky hiding behind those sandbags. A little fortunate, you have to say. It feels like Deco might have spotted him if that smoke just faded a split second sooner, but with a refresh of it, deep in towards the elevators, this retake starts to look worse and worse. The man advantage at least has been stripped. They know Lucky is on those sandbags, but there's still two unknowns here, and they've got no utility at all. No smokes, no mollies, nothing to get them out of dodge. Deco and Flamey doing what they can, but his body with a Molotov onto the bomb that keeps him away from it. And at this point, surely, yeah, the AWP has to be saved. Heat get away with another one.
Right down to the wire. Deco doing what he could, but without the kit, I was honestly a little bit surprised that they stuck around, that they even attempted to go for the retake. If they had saved the 3 weapons, maybe they could have salvaged something together here. Instead, now, very likely it's just going to be the force buy around that up either way. Honestly, Glowin done a pretty good job, rather, stuck in behind the sandbag side, considering the circumstances, but it was just a very difficult position once they got stuck in that 3-on-4, smoked off. They didn't have a single flash, they didn't have a kit, there was just nothing to do anything about even delaying that bomb being planted or even trying to dish out a bit of damage before they could all position for their after plant. So it was pretty hopeless. They've done a good job at least taking quite a few weapons away in the end, but capitalizing on that now with only the op and some pistols is going to be very, very difficult. I do like that they're taking a bit of a gamble, though. I think they're somewhat stacking it up towards middle here. More so focused on B, actually.
The deceptiveness of Vertigo's minimap.
It was the X-ray that caught me off guard initially, actually. Looking from down ramp here.
Deco posts himself deep over towards B. I'm not sure. I'm not as sold as you are. It feels like I'd rather have that AWP in a more proactive angle. Instead, it's the pistols charging in, and well, Flamey, 2 dinks. One finally finds the conversion, and he's got Afro pinned as well. Baits it with the pistol, but Afro is wise to his tricks. Did have support lines behind him if he wanted to back away as well, but happy to take the fight freely, the AWPer. At this point, you think maybe Deco might have his chance, playing behind 90, looking to roam. Travis, no idea that boost was coming through, gives his life away for free. And as soon as this AWP brings out, you have to imagine Heat are going to hightail it to the other bomb site. So it's just a matter of time. Bomb on the back of Joko maybe makes things a little more interesting as they are going to start planning out this B split. And it's well read by the CT side. Glowing in with the first. Foster tapping away, trying to make it expensive. Will deal with body as well. And that's just funneling them right in. Deco flashed off his first angle. Sees one, sees both, lands the shot. Again, a wallbang onto Lucky, and Joko is left. Trying to play this up close and personal, wants to take the angles away from the AWP. He's stuck, and will get his head ripped clean off as Joko doubles it. A huge hero play from the pistols, but it's not quite enough as it goes down to the last man, and Joko's able to clutch up.
Damn, that was ridiculous. Sorry, I had a little lag spike there. My stream froze, and you froze for me as well. It was interesting. I thought my internet had dropped, but that one, the push rather in from Flamey, it seemed like if he had to slow things down once he got that AK, if he wasn't so hellbent on taking that fight in towards the ladder, if he wasn't as ambitious to try fake flash with the deagle, then they probably could have kept that man advantage and played off the back of it, and with that likely came out on top. But either way, that 2-on-1 in the end is still a position that they should have had. Joko just creeping up and taking them both out in a millisecond. That's not how things would have been planned out in their minds. Instead, OneWin are now left only on pistols. A single deagle is all they're even able to upgrade. We should have Heat time to score up at 4-4. For now, though, they're still actually on their default, so they don't realize that the A-bomb site's completely clear. I don't think they're going to get the bomb down before they realize it either, because it's only now being brought over in the back of Lucky, but they do have the control, so there's not really much that OneWin can do about it either way. Body, I was going to say, should have himself some money on this Mac 10. There is a player still close spawn there that you didn't realize.
Get in there, clearing his corners, of course, against the unarmored opponents. The Mac-10 doing work, and there's his triple. Lucky going to steal away the quad, but it's a nice, smooth sailing round. All 5 players kept up. Moneymaker for Heat, and exactly like we said, just starting to decimate that CT economy, putting them on the back foot, putting them under pressure. And this is exactly where Heat will want them, farming up the cash for themselves, keeping that CT only ever one buy away from an eco, keeping them in that precarious spot, you have to say, at 4-all, where they're investing into this one, but they're sacrificing things. They're limited on their utility. They haven't got a defuse kit. Nobody's got any head armor whatsoever, so Body actually becomes even more lethal here as he starts to round the early angles, but Glowing's up for the task. And you have to say, maybe that was a little ambitious. No support there. Not really timed well enough to be a fake up onto A to allow this B split to pop. So really just throwing his life at nothing there, Body.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. See if his teammates can recover from it now with their focus instead shifted mostly towards B. Travis is in a fairly aggressive angle here that may be spotted if they go for this boost. Molly in up close, given a bit of a warning. I was going to say that there is definitely something going on these stairs, but Travis still taking the peek in, will be punished. A pick by Afro and still a ton of time, so they don't really need to commit off this. It's done a successful job in actually pulling some of these CTs over and wasting a couple of their nades as well. Leaving them with only a single smoke, a couple flashes, and a HE. Still just under a minute on that clock, so as you can see, Heat don't really want to rush into the bomb site too quickly, but they do need to get a move on relatively soon. Otherwise, they won't really have the option of going elsewhere if they run into a stack.
They want this B commit too, throwing all their utility with 35 seconds left on the clock. All 4 players down here. Ready and waiting. Exercise boosted up. The flash is not quite landed correctly. Flamey able to capitalize for 1, and now they're just walking right into the clock. Crossfire. It's a meat grinder. The M4A1S is plenty of bullets to find those kills. The round goes the way of 1 win, and that just felt a little one-dimensional from Heat. For their map pick, you know, you throw Body up the ramp early. He doesn't get anything at all from there. You just sit in the bottom of the ramp. You got one slightly innovative boost, shall we say, for a pick. But from there on out, it's just a straight B pop. And 1win are going to deal with that quite comfortably. As you saw there, just clean angles, clean crossfires, clean round.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. Having a look at how both teams normally fare on this map as well. Heat tend to do a bit better on their T side. 1win tend to do a bit better on their defense, as they are now. So that means that this current half that we're in is definitely going to be the more important of the two. So I think whoever can come out on top now will be feeling pretty happy. A nice kill from Glowing on the nade. Not sure exactly how that landed, but it was down the ramp apparently. Afro must have taken some spam damage beforehand as well. So a big pick in the opening moments. The up-out of play already for Heat. And around where they've invested everything as well. So if they're to lose this one, they're looking at an eco. 1win can start again, building up a decent lead. Although, I would say some perhaps unnecessary aggression there coming in with that peak from Deco.
He's been feeling it. He's been feeling confident. This time it's to his detriment. Leg comes in from Glowing. He wants to repeat this angle as well. Has to back away. And that leaves Foster a little isolated once again. Utility goes into the sandbags to flush Glowing away. 2 nades and a Molotov to follow. But Foster swings wide on the timing. Grabs a double, make it 3. Right as they thought they had that AWPer pinned in, he looks to activate from a very rough off angle on the ramp. And, well, he catches everybody napping. Everyone looking the wrong way. A clean sweep. And with Lucky left 1v3. Bomb on the ramp, just 30 seconds remaining. They should have a very solid idea of where he's headed. And Foster and Travis are well placed to deal with it.
And they're being given plenty of warning, as we said. All 3 players are going to be here now. What a shot by Lucky. 1 more in the spawn to deal with. The problem is in towards the side alley. If he tries to get that bomb down, he'll just be peeked and killed, and he doesn't even get to that stage. Flamey takes a bit more initiative there. Could have been risky, but he knew his teammate was coming right in from behind. 6-4. As I mentioned, that was a full investment from Heat. They have just enough here to take an eco and get their buyout in the following round, but I'm not really expecting even any pistols other than maybe a P250 max or so to be upgraded. And even then they decide against that. They know that they need their buy in this next round to be optimal. So 7-4 is the likely scoreline here for 1win unless something crazy happens, and they should also stabilize their own money a small bit. Looking like they're going to group around ramp here. We've seen this smoke every round, to be fair, so wait it out, try and just burst up and perhaps catch the player who's been peeking around the scaffolding. Problem is that nade has just softened them all up, and while it won't help the offer, it will help Fostar, who's having a hell of a time. He's already got 3, not quite 4. He actually doesn't manage to land the flick. He was close indeed, but now it's Afro who hopes to make a dent in the economy with this recovered AK.
1 more frag would be good, but Glowing's not going to give him anything. Wall bangs him down, cleans things up. 1 frag. It's a little rough, but it's all you can really ask for, especially when you consider, you know, they've got 5 blocks and they've been naded down to pretty much half HP across the board before they've even seen a single CT. So getting that 1 kill for Afro, it's not a bad result by any means. And as we see the pause starting to come in, it's time for Heat to really start considering their option. They've taken the time out here. They haven't got the money to get that AWP out, and their T side in the last couple of rounds has started to fall a little flat. It's felt like that arm wrestle is swinging the way of HEET. And that's going to be something that concerns them greatly because, as you said, this is both teams' best half. So if one win can come out of it ahead, that is a huge confidence booster.
Yeah, and for one win, it's a little more even. Heat are actually slightly more favored on their T side than one win would be on their CT as well. So at the current rate of going, one win are going to be in an incredibly happy position for themselves. Even just adding 2 more rounds, I think 9 they could be feeling pretty good with. This buy here from Heat is actually very, very interesting. They've got a couple rifles, an AK and a Galil. Other than that, though, just pistols and a few nades. Focused on getting their investment in the next round, of course, but they also want to make sure that this is one where they can still at least make it a bit of a fight. Unfortunately, it's already an opening pick coming in from Deco. He's, I believe, taking things over towards the... oh, he's actually in towards the scaffolding. Sorry, I thought he changed it up and brought it in towards middle. Again, it was just around the edge of the smoke. They seem to keep on losing a pick in this area.
It's one of the rifles as well, at the very least in a recoverable spot, but still not ideal to say at the very least. And the rifles are going to look to group here. They know Deco will like to roam in towards the scaffolding, but once again, it's Foster playing off his teammate. Deco then swings right as they're looking away. Timings couldn't be better. That's both rifles down towards the top of the A ramp as well, so really not recoverable whatsoever. Even Lucky and Exercise with 1 tech, 1 D. Hoping for a miracle. Deco still locking things down. Another leg onto Lucky as they look to make their way up the ramp. At least the Galila's recovered. Fully automatic option, hopefully giving them a little more purchase, but you can see the CT side reaction just flooding the ramp with bodies and flooding the kill feed with kills. Beautiful stuff, cleanly executed. That hero rifle buy from 2 players doesn't land whatsoever. And for Heat, again, you know, they just took the pause. It feels like they're back to the drawing book once more.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind another pause. I didn't mind another pause, rather, before getting into the gun round here because things are so important. And Afro's actually going to get the op out as well. I feel like I haven't really got to see him on it much, or at least if he has had it, he hasn't really had the opportunity to get anything done, unfortunately. It's going to be a charge up ramp, though. They actually managed to beat the smoke. There was a slightly deeper one, I think, or shallower, I guess, if we're looking from the CT perspective. Given that room for them to go forward, and Glowin decided to advance once again. That was crazy aggression considering that smoke is down and he just has no info of what's going on behind it. Let's put all the pressure now onto Deco, who's alone on this A bomb site for the moment. He's going to need to try and get a kill, stay alive, and find out what the hell is going on, because for now it is still just the default. He will actually spot the head of body. Already seen the upper as well that baited him into the angle, unfortunately. A missed shot now sends him retreating back into the bomb site with half health in a 2-on-5, which I'm really not loving their chances in. They've at least stacked it up together, but as soon as Heat realize this, they can just run the bomb back over to B.
Yeah, bomb by no means committed, and with more utility, they keep flushing these CT players out. Lucky taking the whole B bomb site in amongst the chaos, and you can see OneWin know what's up, but how do you even read this? How do you even commit? There's T-side players absolutely everywhere. Body is still lurking up the A ramp. They'll make sure there's no flanks, no funny business. Deco and Travis pinned into mid. Nobody's going to give them a peek. Nobody's going to give them an opportunity to find any damage at all. So at this point, they may well have to resign themselves to the save. Even that, by no means a guarantee. You can see on the mini-map number 7 and number 8, Jocko and Body starting to plan their flanks, starting to pick their angles, pick their timings. Exercise spots out one. Deco, whilst he will find the kill, gives his position away to the opposition as well, and you can see Body, he's been timing this the whole time. Travis, aware of the possibility, has found the first, and that should be just about enough to secure their exit. At this point, just 2 players left alive. Heat's economy not really in a place to continue hunting.
Yeah, 2 is really the bare minimum that you want coming out of this position. For OneWin, they'll be okay, saving over on the 2 players who had pretty good economy as well, so they can drop one there to Glowin, who's a little bit short. Unfortunately, he can get his nades then easily with it, and they'll have an opportunity here to potentially still go up towards 10-5. The thing for OneWin is, if they don't take this, then although they can get a few weapons into this next round, it won't be a full gun round. They will be lacking on a couple players, and there'll be a chance for Heat to go up towards 7, which will be a pretty good recovery considering how things were looking just a round ago, even. Fostar, though, pushing forward around this shallow smoke once again. Doesn't realize, I think, that a player's already bypassed them. Body should be aware of the fact that Fostar is pushed down the ramp and they just haven't pincered in. So If they deal with this well, they should be able to come out with an advantage. A wild spam, nearly even getting some team damage in. But eventually he will get that kill on Foestar, and with Flamey somehow being on a single point of health as well, this A bomb site has just crumbled.
Timing's going to be everything for Flamey here. Exercise is watching for this possibility, but it's a headshot angle, so he will be able to find one. Smoke to allow him to fall away. Instead, he re-aggresses behind it, and they don't read it at all. Flamey on 1 HP finds twice as many kills. And that is a huge clutch up for a player in a very dire situation. Unfortunately for One Win, Lucky has realized they stacked up that A site. B is wide open for the taking, and he'll start to put himself in a very aggressive afterplant bomb, shortly following on the back of Joko. This is essentially a 2-on-2 retake, you have to say. Flamey, he's done about as much as you could ever ask of any player, given he's 1 HP to find 2 kills. You really can't ask any more of him in the retake. It's onto the shoulders of Travis and Deco. See if they can maybe get something done. Bomb ticking away. Flamey trusted to throw the early utility. Now trying to bait the info, and he knows where Lucky is, but Jocko backing him up for now. Lucky doesn't need it. A double kill from the tight angle, and he knows Deco is going to be holding him in, but there's nothing the AWPer can do. The peak a little too wide, but the trade is immediate. Joko gets the job done. Heat have their 6th, and they are wrestling their way back to a solid T side.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not too bad here. Glowing with a few kills was able to confirm his economy's there for at least the rifle and such to come in, but off the back of Flamey making this play, you've got to say it's a little bit disappointing they're not able to convert it into the round win. The 1 HP, the re-aggression through the smoke, as you said, being completely unexpected, but also just ballsy as hell. It was necessary, but it was also absolutely crazy. Either way, it's pretty on par in terms of the firepower, because Body's also stuck on a deagle. This is a pretty important swing round right now. Whether One Win can have that gap of 3 rounds heading onto their T side, or whether it's going to be pretty much neck and neck at A7. Just calm down a little bit in terms of ramp aggression now. We're not going to have One Win playing as crazy. They don't have as many nades to work with. The hope really is to try and get a pick, which they're bringing Deco over to do right now.
He's been the star of the show, really, for this CT side so far. 18 kills on that AWP. Hoping to grab something, like you said. Glowing has started to play in that trademark at this point, aggressive spot, and he's caught the timing he was after as well. Body goes down. They know this has to be B now. They've cleared out all the information down that A ramp. They've got a mid lurk already working his way in. Travis under pressure, but he's got 2. Switches to the AK, playing the edges of the smoke. He'll finally be put down, but he has done by far and away more than could be expected. Deco, meanwhile, trades that pick evenly and leaves Afro in this 1v4. Nothing to do. 9-6 as we head into the halftime break. And you have to say, Dean, that is a very solid total of rounds for a one-win side who were a little back and forth initially. That early arm wrestle started to get away from them. Their economy started to break, but they have grappled their way back into this series.
Yeah, HEET done okay to at least get a bit of a recovery going on as the map went on, of course, but it's a scary position to be in because obviously this is HEET's map choice with Overpass coming up next as well. Even though we've seen them look really good on it yesterday, it's still a position where going in you'd probably put One Win as the favourites. So they need to try and come back in. They're going to need that pistol round now in the second half if they want a chance of getting the momentum going. And they're going to need some of the individuals to step up as well, because the level that we're getting from some of these one-win players right now is insane. The likes of Joko, not Joko, Deco, and I think there was another player that was right up there alongside him that I'm blanking on. Glowing, that's who it was indeed, right alongside him. And that's not even counting the moments where Flamey was pulling off those crazy 2Ks as well. So they have a lot going for them right now, going onto this T side where they can control the pace as well. I do think One Win are primed to move forward and take their own map win, unless we have a little bit extra from HEET now on this defense.
Need of something a little bit special. They've gone for a heavy utility buy, 2 full banks. Jocko even picks up a HE of his own behind the defuse kit. So 3 players without armor coming into this hit makes things very ugly. The HEs try to chime in. Foster, yes, he's tagged down a little bit, but not anything that will really concern him. And in comes the charge. Oh, Travis flying through the air. Rips the head off of Exercise. That is the least fortunate kill I have ever seen from a HEET point of view. Exercise will be wondering what on earth just happened, and they double back off the back of it straight up the A ramp, looking to pile the pressure on towards what is already a fairly well occupied A site, but it's going to be Jocko and Body to hold this whole hit off. The flashbang in is inch perfect, and it will allow Jocko to double up, and that's bought even more time, but a couple of whiff shots and it all falls apart. Body had to find that kill as soon as he does, and Jocko is sold down the river. And Afro, well, there is a defuse kit on site, a 1v3 to contend with, potentially some dropped utility as well. But he's got to get into the site first, and Deco already spotting him out. They're going to peek him together. They're trying to keep him isolated deep in towards CT, and that's exactly how it pans out. A little bit of magic, a little bit of luck, and a hell of a lot of fragging from OneWin. Grabs them double digits. This shot, oh, that's just not even fair. That was like second bullet as well. Oh, it was first bullet. Yeah. Okay, just to make it even worse.
Straight up. Not even a dink, just straight up kill. Yeah, I swear you could be touching him with the Glock half of the time and he wouldn't even get that straight up kill. But either way, Travis is able to make it work. Exercise, who's been having a bit of a rough game, is probably a little bit tilted. Hopefully his teammates are like, it's alright, it happens. Let's focus back on this next good round, because for now anyway they're on the eco, they can have a bit of a chat, hopefully get a couple of kills out of this one, and well, let's see, because already unfortunately their stack over towards A isn't working. Glowin's going to try and hunt this down. You should get Joko, but that's going to be like an early warning system for the other four so that they can just avoid this Mach 10.
That'll be the hope. There is a Galil hemming them into this, so they really are stuck at the moment. It's a little unfortunate. You call the A stack, they rush B. On a map like Vertigo, that's GG, job done, really. He's going to start trying to hunt them down. He's got rifles in support. We'll just be looking for pretty much any and all damage he can find on the Mach 10, but it's going to be nabbed away. The Galils and the AKs chiming in instead, so I suppose if you're looking for silver linings, they didn't die to the Mach 10. That's about the best I can come up with at this point, because that was a fairly routine round from OneWin. Sets their lead at 5. Gives them a big opportunity as well. If they can deal with this first rifle, they can keep that CT economy resetting. 2,900 loss bonus coming into the next will only be a half buy, and it'll be 13 before we can really see HEET start to respond with the rifles, and that would be a huge lead for OneWin if they can get it done, but it's going to be aggression, and it's read beautifully. Body doubles up right as the Mach 10 rounds the corner, full blind. An early 3-on-5 found, and OneWin already scrambling to try and pick up the pieces, but Exercise is in a perfect position to read this. He hears it, flashed in, Travis full blind. This is more like it, HEET.
A little bit surprised they tried to move us straight in towards B as well after spotting out 3 players pushed up close mid who could obviously make very quick rotations happen. 2-on-4 though, if they can get another couple picks here, things could definitely still swing back. Deco able to pick up 1 in on middle. It's not a clean kill, unfortunately, which leaves him on pretty low health. With his teammate going down with only a dink being dealt out, I don't think it'll be enough, unfortunately, for Deco. Lots of Ds there.
If he had an AK, if only he had an AK, that dink would have been a kill. Body goes down. Deco's still low, still in a 1v2, but it would just feel so much more viable. He's being just pincered on at the moment. The angles are good for the CT side. Lucky will get the job done. A couple of frags found, sure, but you have to say, a bit of a statement round there from HEET. They took the fight to OneWin and they won it straight out. That was exactly what they needed. Just charging into this mid play. Body and Joko looking to get it done. And from there, you just see these little tidbits. It's like what we saw from HEET on Overpass yesterday, and all honesty, these little pre-planned plays, pre-planned flashes to get them into angles, give them the best opportunity to convert, and that's exactly what they do. And that puts OneWin 1 round away from a reset, but Flamey just charging out mid has found the opening, and now that B-split feels like a real possibility. Lucky's got to watch 2 angles at once, and it opens the door.
Exercise isn't in a comfortable position either, even with Lucky rather, because he was also having to watch in towards the mid position as well. Glowin's going to be able to pick off both of them in towards the bomb site. A smoke as well to slow rotations. It's a 4-on-2, and honestly, I was going to say they should be considering this save, considering Afro's already so low. And I think he was. He hadn't even budged on the rotation. He was still back towards the A bomb site, so I'm somewhat surprised Body went in for it. Either way, it's just going to be the one weapon being saved, and a round that HEET desperately needed isn't going to go their way. Their economy's going to be ruined. It's going to be likely 13 rounds going the way of 1 win. Can he at least save the weapon is the question. Deco's up close and personal already, and he's not going to let that happen. 4 players left standing as well for 1 win. They're making things look easy at the moment. I mean, the combo of Deco and Glowin, the fragging they've been doing throughout this match so far has been absolutely insane. We did mention that Deco was the player we were going to look towards to step up and give that kind of X factor that Whistler, for example, didn't have yesterday, as Snatchy was kind of missing from the game, or at least wasn't hitting the level we thought he would. That's not the case for 1 win. They've got Deco and they've got Glowin right alongside him, and whenever it's needed, it seems like Flamey, Travis, or Fostar are able to step up as well. So things are getting a little bit desperate for HEET right now.
It's the one true curse of a CT side, that one and done round where you get one success, immediately followed up by failure, full reset of the economy. Loss bonus ticks down to a point where it's not ideal even for the next.
Better than the full
Pistols
resets
out,
back
as
in the
you
day.
said.
They'd make you cry.
It's not that bad, but it's not pretty either. This round should be relatively clean. 4 remaining pistols. I mean, they are all up on this A site, and Deco is charging on through, but if there's anyone you'd trust, it would be Deco. Not quite able to land it, but with 2 kills coming in from Glowing and Foster at this point, the information is known. The bomb just gently wandering over towards that B site, going for a little bit of a meander as Afro, desperate for any more damage, spots out Foster. They're using a lot of utility to flush him out at the very least, but the kills will come regardless. 13 on the board. One win just 3 rounds away from stealing HEET's map pick. And yeah, as you look at the economy, you know, this is going to be the buy. If this goes wrong, well, they are cutting it very, very fine on their map pick, HEET.
Yeah, they basically just need it, as you said, in this gun round. Otherwise, they won't have the room for any mistakes to be made. And we've seen what they can do yesterday, of course, being able to pull off comebacks from being in a down position, which we had them at, I believe it was on overpass after a poor start yesterday. But still, when it's your opponent up against that finish line, basically, it's a bit of a different scenario. I do need to focus back on this, though, because the shallower smoke again in on the ramp allows for Afro to push down. Taking already an opening kill in favor of HEET, so this is a good start. They like to be very proactive on this CT side in comparison to what we've seen from one win, and they keep on taking it to them despite the advantages, rather. That's even going to be a bomb now dropped in on the bomb site, so that's going to be impossible to recover for Travis and Flamey. They're just going to have to hope some big mistakes are made and that kills are given to them if they want any chance of recovering it.
Huge confidence booster as well. 2-on-5. If you can get through this round completely cleanly, it really does bolster the cash, and Afro reads Flamey's peak like a book. Travis last alive deep on this ramp, hoping just for any damage at all, right? Take any rifles off this CT side that you can. You don't really want to survive. You don't want your economy to become disjointed, but not a single frag found, and only really 40-odd points of damage connected onto Lucky. That is a huge win for HEET. And a big, as you said, confidence builder, right? It builds up the hope. 6 rounds still the gap, but if you can keep pulling out aggressive plays like this and you can keep just straight up winning your fights, then it's not that far away. You're only realistically looking at 2 more rifle buys after this before your level and your map pick really starts to feel viable.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it's similar to what we had yesterday, where HEET were the ones taking a lot more proactive plays on their CT side, especially on Inferno versus Vizsla. One win, though, they give a little bit more in terms of being able to take those fights. For now, though, it doesn't really seem to be making much of a difference. HEET are still coming out on top of them here. 2-man advantage once again being found very quickly, even with a couple of rifles still left standing here around the ramp. HEET have got good positions. They've got the nades down. I was going to say they don't really need to give anything away, but a push in against Travis is going to give an extra rifle into the hands of one win. So that could make things a small bit dangerous. They've also decided to pretty heavily stack up towards this A bomb site. They've got 3 players in position. It does look to be the correct decision, but with still a minute, I was going to say not necessarily. As you can see now, Travis will begin to push in. That actually forces Joko to go in through the alley. Deco had been holding for the punish, so now they've got a 3-on-3 with the bomb down. The health isn't perfect, sure, but they can start setting up for the afterplant and hoping to play off at a time. That is unfortunate, though.
That's a huge kill to find. Flamey alone on the ramp for now as Deco looks to mind the flank. He spots out one, but the timing's just against him. Not quite able to find the kill. He's after the bomb. Is actually planted wide, and that allows them the angle even with the smoke down, but the shot's not quite connecting. Oh, wait, they are. Deco and Flamey combining brilliantly. They missed a few, but the extra bullets get them across the line. A 2v3 afterplant, a 4v3 conversion, and again, it's the double-edged sword of that aggression, right? It gets them an early 2-man pick, but then they peek a little wide. That gives a rifle to one of those Tech 9s, and you just don't want to be given 1-win rifles right now because they look like every shot they're hitting is looking more and more electric, and even when they whiff out a couple, that spray down is lethal as they manage to post 14. And if they can take this one over the line as well, the reset is going to be about as harsh as it's ever been for HEET.
Yeah, this is a crazy position to be in. The fact that they've lost that round still has me a little bit bewildered. As you said, though, just a bit of over-aggression when it wasn't necessary. Mid control, though, being found fairly easily, it looks like, for one win. Flamey ends up taking a ton of damage, though, around the edge of that smoke, and I think that's warning them away for now. So it looks like things will be slowed down slightly here for one win. They're not in a massive rush. They know the economy for HEET should be a little bit impacted in terms of what sort of utility they're going to have in play as well. So if they can just try and run it down and keep the pressure on here, you should see them being able to start moving forward for some map control. And, well, that looks to be the case. They do actually just want to head up ramp already. Throw a flash in. It'll force the player back off the angle and actually waste a molly in the meantime. Body, does he want to fight it? He looked like he wanted to, but deciding it's best to let his teammate take the first point of contact. What a shot by Travis. The Galil does not hold him back this time.
Fostar out in no man's land, but he adjusts in time. Joko, yes, he finds the trade, but that had to be a slam dunk kill for Body. He had everything going his way. Instead, he goes down, and the pressure really starts to fall onto Exercise. He's got Deco up first, full HP, but Glowing is on a backstab of his own, and he's found another. There's flanks on flanks here, but the low HP bars are just about giving Exercise what he needs. Flamey, single digits, trying to stay alive, trying to bomb time, but that's bombed down. 15 seconds left on the clock. Glowing's got to go for the recovery, and it's Exercise. The quad kill on the flank keeps HEET alive. That was an absolute margin of inches. It really did feel like Glowing might have got it over the line. That kill from Fostar was absolutely nutty, but it's Exercise. Those low HP bars, that chip damage that HEET had found from those early sprays, those early nades, really coming back to help them out in a major way.
Yeah, it was unfortunate they weren't able to get the bomb out from scaffolding there, though. I think it was Flamey who had been pinned down. Either way, going to be a 9th for HEET and should be double digits before they actually have to go against the guns once again. Afro is a madman. Has the deep smoke, so he knows if there is multiple players waiting outside that bridge, at the very least they'd be separated, jumping through the smoke. So he wouldn't have been completely overwhelmed. But he's only good for the one before he goes down. Fortunately, I think that's a bit of damage that they can afford to take right now. Only an MP9 fallen. They'll keep the rifles, at least both of them that they had in play, standing. Now is where they need to begin to worry once again. Although, one win's buy is still a little bit limited. I maybe would have even liked if they went for one more half investment, even just bought some pistols and some body armor or something to try and do something. Because as you can see, in order to get their nades here, they've had to go for 3 Galils, which, I mean, with a couple MP9s for HEET, you can understand, but it's not ideal. We've seen them have a few moments where even just the Galil dink in a player has actually cost a round. So we'll have to see what they can get done.
Big call to make in these kind of last dying breaths of map 1. Got your opposition on the ropes on their map pick. Like you said, you want to have everything. You want to have all rifles. Maybe even the AWP in the hands of Deco's had a blinder of a series here. Glowing only just overtaking him in the dying moments. Instead, no. It's isolated fights, and Body and Exercise take full advantage. Fostar will be able to react for at least one, but it's the man advantage. Double it as again the Galil betrays them. Lucky on the MP9 getting it all done, and it's onto Fostar and Deco to recover. Bomb gonna try and go down. That Molotov's gonna be awkward though. Just about falls past Fostar, and again, flank on flank. Afro posted on this ramp. It's forcing one win's hand a little bit. They've got to play proactively into these positions. Edge of the smoke gets one. The second not found, though, and that leaves Deco alone. Flanked out from 2 sides at once. He's going to have to play proactively. He's spotted out by Body. Can't quite land the shot. Now he tries to retreat, but he's spotted as he looks away. Just about lands the Galil spray and doubles it as well. Body didn't want to go for the reload. Tried to charge him down with the pistol, but the damage just wasn't quite there. The Galil that has betrayed one win so many times finally gets the delivery. And that's another 2v4 conversion. Those are the rounds that HEET just cannot be losing. Under no circumstance can you be giving those away. 2-on-4 turned 1v2, and the fact that Deco gets away with both kills here is just absurd.
Yeah, a little jump away as well that just about saved probably his life. He ended up getting caught in the foot, I think, while jumping into cover to take that first 1v1. It's going to be a HEET timeout, as you'd expect at this point, losing out that 2-on-4 that would have put them in a decent position to really start making the comeback happen. You would have had an eco for one win. You would have been up to, it would have been 12-14 most likely. Instead, one win have got themselves map point here. It leaves HEET in a very, very awkward position. Again, we know they can play overpass after what we see in yesterday, but they still don't want to be heading onto it already a map down. It's not a good position to be in, and the investment here for HEET is a little bit limited by an MP9 and a Deagle in play, so it's not perfect either. They're looking to try and take some initiative at least. They want to get aggressive on towards B. I believe they're doing the same around the ramp. Fairly standard though. going to slow things down for now. They don't really have the weaponry to try and take any of these early picks, and 1win are happy enough to hold back off. They're not moving too quickly at all. They know, again, that the economy, while it might not be completely broken for HEET, that there probably is a couple weaknesses in there. So they're happy to let them throw out those smokes and such.
Yeah, they'll know the loot utility is going to be a little slim if they want to get the rifles out. So just bleeding it dry early. Taking the A ramp control. Very little contest as Body and Afro boosting up. Trying to give themselves an off angle onto this headshot peek, but Deco has read it like a book again. Glowing able to double up, and that's the A site. They went for something a little proactive, a little cheeky in the boost. Instead, they just got ripped apart. Jocko spotted, smoked off, kept out of this. The bomb will start to make its rotation, but again, the flank is there. Flamey in towards mid if he wants to. There is a counter flank from Exercise once more down the ramp. This time, he's not going to have low HP bars, and this time, he's not going to catch that bomb in transition. Not even quite going to catch Deco as he goes in for the repeak, and Jocko and Lucky trying to charge down the site, but it's not connecting. It's not happening. It's going to be 1win who take the first map, who take their opposition's map pick of Vertigo. And you have to say, they took it in some style as well. There was some moments, there were some half chances for HEET, but that was a very clean performance for a map that, you know, we were looking at and going, all the stats say, all the stats point to it being a nice